Mark,
Howdy, how are you?
good, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Nice.
Hey, could you send me the packet at my Gmail account so I can pull it up?
Yes. And it's brokenhammer69@gmail.
Yeah, please.
I have a good memory. Okay.
My CenturyLink account isn't working right.
Oh, really? Okay.
And Cindy's not going to be here tonight, and neither is Joan.
Oh, good to know.
We may not have a forum,
Ooh,
because Keith is not gonna be here either.
so Cindy, Joan, and Keith. And we need, I think, is it
We need
4?
four. We need four.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, we'll soon see.
Well, Betsy, right? Oh, Sean. Yeah, we'll probably make it,
Got 4?
maybe.
Just need two more. Maybe Keith will be watching on Zoom.
Maybe,
Oh,
he's back in Atlanta.
How'd your paving go, Bob? You all done?
The what?
Your paving at the park?
No, we didn't do it, they're, half the road and bridge crew is off to training this week. They're
Well,
learning how to use the equipment apparently, so maybe next week. But Kevin's, working on getting the rest of those planters done. I brought him some more plants today, so he's got them smoothed out, he started putting plants in, we moved the big 4 bucket to the corner. Ryder is putting rock on concrete. He's got two more light stands to do, and then he'll be done.
getting close.
Yeah.
who you talking to? Oh,
Mark
I'm just putting out a general statement. Oh,
Reynolds.
huh?
Mark Reynolds.
Sorry. I'm Mark.
George
Howdy.
says hi.
Nice hair. We was just, nice hair, nice hair.
Nice hair. Big white hair is in fashion in town here.
Hey, it is. We're taking over all the cities. Your house sure looks nice.
Thank you. Yours does too. Always does. I like your house.
Wish I had a little better yard, but. You know,
Got a
it's
nice yard.
it's too expensive for water at all, you know,
Well,
so I just keep the
that's
top.
what you get for living in the mountains in Colorado. Should be back in Georgia.
Yeah, no thanks.
They're done there, don't want to do that again.
Beth sure keeps her yard nice. I bet this is the nicest yard they've had. She waters all the time and she's been really working at it. Looks so nice. See much of Pam spraying?
I see her occasionally, she'd be out on her little deck, soaking up the sun.
She's not there very often. right?
No, she came back for a while, I don't know if she's still there now, I think she is. Trying to think, yeah, I think her car is still in the back, but even when she's there,
Never
you don't see it.
Huh. Down in Florida when she's not here?
I think so, yeah. Right,
And he always runs upstairs, right?
yeah, he's the only one that's got energy.
Other people have energy.
The opposite of me. I'm the opposite of him. How's it going?
Oh, busy,
Yeah, that's good then.
this whole thing over at Vince's place has turned out to be a whole lot more work than I bargained for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to put everything together in a single document. I finally got it estimate put together and I'm finding the best pictures of the work on it.
Oh, that's not the easiest thing to do.
I'm getting,
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it.
You have to compress them each time.
Yeah,
Parts of
it's
the
a pain in the neck.
brand. Yeah, it is a pain, but yeah, if you don't compress them, it makes it a little challenging.
Get a good chair.
Oh,
We
no,
won't need, we definitely won't need this one on the end. You can pull it around and sit in the comfort.
I'm looking for the breeze.
Yeah, that's why I opened the door.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
really hot up here.
Breeze feels good.
What nice days we've had, gosh. Hmm.
Picture.
It's me, hello.
Hey, that's a nice picture of your house there.
Hi, Tim
Hi,
Bradley.
girl, how are you?
I'm good. Jody, can I steal my paper?
Absolutely, I was wondering, what you're doing here.
You can sit over, on you, we're not gonna have our legal.
Oh, really?
Mark's here, but he's not there.
Okay.
Oh, I'm here.
Cindy's- And Joan's not coming.
Cindy's not-
That's what Mark said.
We've got a really small group.
Keith is also
He's in,
debatably coming. He's experiencing a hurricane right now, I believe, so.
well, yeah, he's in Georgia,
uh-huh.
yeah, but he's not coming, he'll be made
Oh.
online.
Well, we have a forum now, so we're good.
Yeah.
You just have to go
Cindy's
get
at
another
the
person.
camera. Cindy's at the camera.
Mark is going to come.
Hi, Nobby. Hi. What's this? Oh, things, okay,
So this side I have,
okay,
this is what things I need.
perfect.
I guess Keith had to go experience another hurricane.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem, thank you for doing that. I thought I'm gonna sit next to you then. Is Betsy coming?
I don't know, you can sit at the end,
Well, Betsy can sit here, this is her spot, so.
this is your plan.
Yeah.
I have to keep her straight.
What they're saying.
I don't want to sit. That's the power corner over there, so
Yeah, it's empty.
I'll be doing it today. Jody, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear
You just like nice hair,
it.
that seems to be the thing,
Nice hair?
yeah.
That's Mark.
Oh,
Mine.
So it's just like.
Mark looks like it's always goes down to the end. There we go, that's better.
well, hopefully the other, well, we got 3 minutes, so. Ages. The Hamel House, I'm sorry, the library 100th anniversary had extremely good food, so we all missed out by not going to that. There's bacon wrapped scallops, yeah, it's happening right now,
Can we go to that instead?
huh?
Can we go to that instead?
Only if you take your minutes.
No,
know
the
about it.
library just turned 100, and they're having a party, and that party is at Hamel House right now,
Oh,
and they just have really
I heard they were having
Oh, I guess we. I've never seen this.
Oh, it's going. Too busy.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Hi, Betsy. Okay, nice to meet you.
Oh, I love that. Rick.
I'm wanting your chair.
Good cheese whenever you're on.
He's not coming, nor is Joan or Mark. We're looking on the.
Big solid.
Well, that's not the town now.
They seem to know.
Yeah. they-
Stole your. Who sits here or?
No,
She got it, but I stole it.
it's not.
I can go do that now if you want.
I'm still working on it, I'm trying to,
Okay,
I'm
well,
I'm embedding pictures and,
I can't get a hold of Vince anyway, so.
yeah. But I'm putting.
Okay, Keith is here.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're still need to put that close. I'm still working on that for you. You didn't drop one up before. I haven't seen it. He promised me he's dropping the voice, but I need. Thank you. Yeah.
What are the ones?
I did. What, 2027? Three? Oh, for the driveway?
Good job, Keith.
Haven't even been by. Haven't even been.
I talked to him today, so.
Okay, we'll try.
Keith is attending from Georgia. He's in the middle of a hurricane right
Oh, really? Where's Georgia, is he?
now. Oh. Keith, where in Georgia are you?
It's not quite there yet. I thought it was in Florida. The hurricane's in Florida.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, it's coming straight through Georgia.
Ah,
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
I got it.
Oh,
That's
yeah, yeah.
great.
the schools are, most of the schools are closed. UGA is closed.
Oh, no.
Your daughter's still on? She's still on UGA?
Yeah, she hopefully finishes this spring.
My daughter's in Gainesville right now, too. My daughter,
Oh, yeah?
she was supposed to be flying back today, but
Where's she, Gainesville?
Gainesville,
I know where that is.
everything's been canceled. They got it for a honker band, huh? Yeah.
Tallahassee's gonna get a lot of people.
Here.
See, as I'm
The
saying.
place where-
I think George County drops.
It's like
Yes.
Massachusetts.
St. George Island and Appalachia, Baldwin, and Georgia, where the Gulf Coast is right at the top. That's exactly what.
So who's gonna run the meeting?
They're around.
Those up here in
Walking the
Marshall.
roads all around town.
Bob's running this. Bob, you wanna start the meeting?
Are you
Sure.
meeting?
I think.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
March and Charlie.
Okay, how about roll call?
Okay, we've got, Sean Flett,
Here.
Betsy Glacely,
Here.
Mark Reynolds,
Here,
Bob Hamilton,
Here.
Brent Ganzer,
Here.
And Keith Crawford.
and Keith Profit.
okay. My packet's not coming up, so I might need your help off and on. Is there any audience business?
First, do we have agenda approval?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Anybody have any additions to the posted agenda?
As an addition?
Yeah, I would like to discuss, a possible grant, opportunity that we have, and I've got a couple ideas, and I want to run that by you.
Okay, perfect. Anybody else have any additions? How about a
No.
motion? How about a motion to approve the amended agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay. Second,
amended.
I'll second.
all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Is there any further for public comments? If
No,
not, let's go right to the agenda. Who's first on the agenda?
Kristen Gower.
She's not in attendance right now.
Okay. Do we want to, is she going to show up or is she on?
She was in the Zoom link, so maybe she's in participants for Zoom.
Let's see, wait, we do have an attendee, but that's Keith, so no, she's not here yet.
We want to
Okay.
skip over that for now.
Please. What's the next one on the agenda?
Jody Martin.
How about
1075
Jody?
each.
Jody's there. Come on up and sit down. Tell us about your project, please.
Jody Martin, 1075 Main Street. I'm here regarding a stairway from my back deck to my side yard.
Okay. And can you tell us about the materials you're gonna use?
It's gonna be all wood except the stairs will be Trex
Okay,
and, a cement pad. Anything else?
commission members, anybody have any questions for Jody?
Was this on the drawings that were previously approved, or is this all new?
Yeah, this is an amendment to the deck.
So there were no stairs on that deck?
No,
Okay. Okay, now they're putting back. Okay, got it.
If
Okay,
I could give a little context. So
Sure.
the stairs technically cross Jody's lot line. And so for the original application, she wanted to get the deck done, and so they took the stairs off. However, now we're going through the lot line elimination process. That planning commission meeting is gonna be in October. So what she's asking for is actually a conditional certificate of appropriateness. So she can only be awarded this if the planning commission approves her lot line elimination. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what are the chances of that? Getting through it?
Pretty high,
Okay.
yeah.
I've got my survey all finished and I think I've got everything they need. I just, because they only meet once a month. I was, happy to get this, be able to hear mine tonight. Conditional, I understand on them approving the lot line elimination.
And so when you walk, come out the window or the space and go down the stairs, are you walking into their properties?
I own both lots,
Oh.
so,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm just eliminating the lot line, so the whole thing will be one lot now.
Okay, great.
The railings and guardrail, right?
Excuse me?
The railings and guardrails will match what's already built, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
There'll be pickets and, it's all wood, it'd be all white.
Cool.
To match the deck.
Perfect.
Should look real nice.
Yeah, I think so.
does anybody have any sightings?
I don't know, I don't think there's anything that covers this, is it?
Railings, we could, and materials, we could go with that.
Yeah, we could just stipulate, I think you'd be better off to stipulate that it use the same materials for railings and,
The spreads and.
yeah, and the decks.
Yeah.
How about we just say match existing?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I hope it'll look like.
we do too. And this is,
I move that we approve the amendment to the COA to add the stairs with the stipulation that the stairs match the deck,
okay,
the rail.
all right,
Second?
Yes.
all right. Is there any public comment? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Jody, I think we got you going.
Great. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
So happy you're not walking.
Do you guys not wanna add the motion pending
So happy you're
planning
not walking.
commission approval?
Oh, we probably should do that.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Yes.
simple.
I'm gonna
Just so
add that.
everybody know, just so everybody knows, Keith is on the Zoom. Okay,
Yeah, we.
Hey, can you, I just wanna make sure Jen was heard, because she just made a suggestion.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay,
But
good.
I was,
Yeah, the motion should include pending planning commission approval.
oh.
Yep.
okay.
That's-
We'll add that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jen's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
okay, who's next?
Baby
Let's
is
see, but-
next.
Okay, Peggy Blackmer, East Slope Excavator. I am applying for a excavation permit for Dane and Debbie Owens of 316 Guanella Pass Road.
Okay,
Okay,
And so they wanted to put like a rock wall up on the left side.
Yeah, the driveway
Yeah.
goes up that direction. We'd like to widen the driveway to approximately 17 feet. And then put a retaining, well, it's actually not a retaining, it's basically, erosion control, because you're cutting into a solid bank, so it's like a dirt,
Yeah,
you're not applying dirt and filling it, you're just putting erosion control against.
So you're gonna stack the stones?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
On a slope, yes.
yeah,
and is the road still gonna be dirt or is it gonna be?
So we're gonna improve the surface with, 1/2 inch gravel.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All of the work will be on their property, or there is, of course, a little bit in the Granilla Pass right away to widen the entrance to it.
any concrete work at the curb cut, or
No, we don't need to touch
it
that.
looks like there's already
There's a driveway entrance, there is a curb, but it's only a short curb that they can drive over, so we don't need to mess with the concrete. But we will make it wide enough that instead of having to make a hard turn and another hard turn, you can actually just drive into the driveway.
So on this picture, this is where the retaining wall is.
The retaining wall beyond that, yeah, right there where you're pointing.
Is there anything happening over here?
We just re-veg that after we get done with the,
So won't there be any rocks? It'll just be-
no, because we're not raising the grade.
Okay,
We're gonna try to maintain the vegetation that's there and then re-veg again.
okay, good.
we don't do excavation purpose.
No. Oh, I'm sorry, the town does, the DRC.
Town does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's here for the retaining.
So we just need to agree with the plan here.
Can anybody come up with a siding, perhaps?
Yes, you did. Book 2, chapter 6, section 2, retaining walls. D and D1 on page 50. And E1 on page 50.
Okay. Do you want to do something for the driveway?
We're gonna widen the driveway, resurface it with 1/2 inch rock. And then the area that we're gonna widen is into the mountainside. And then we're gonna stack boulders on the portion of the mountainside that we disturb, basically as erosion control and to enhance the aesthetics of the property.
So the
I'm sorry,
driveway is
Banky, I was looking for a siding. Somebody have a siding for driveways?
Oh,
John's looking up one.
Chapter 6, section 6, page 56. E1, exposed aggregate, concrete, gravel, brick, or chip and seal are appropriate for paving materials.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? If not, how about a motion?
I make a motion to approve the application with sightings stated.
I'll second.
All right. Bob seconded it. Any public comment? If not, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay. Think you're set, Banky.
Thanks, Mark.
Banky, next time wear your hat.
Okay, sorry, I apologize.
I couldn't tell who you were.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, well, do I have to get any kind of inspection?
When you're done.
Okay, I'll
Not from us.
I'll have to write it up for a finish, you can come take a look at it.
And then you'll come in for the excavation permit at the town hall, so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, who's next? The town? Rick have something?
Yeah, did you make a map?
Yeah, so. So few things. The very back of that stack that I'm about to give you is a map of Sixth Street. And, some ADA improvements that Scooter suggested.
Mark, can you see me well enough?
Yes, I can. You look great.
Tell us about
The lighting's just perfect for you.
The hot seat. Well, so. Well, first off, thank you for what you guys do. I know you guys care about this town and I love it. I love that we have this beautiful town that we all treasure and we take responsibility for. And so, as the administrator, I feel like for the last 2 years, I have been on defense. I'm just doing other people's projects that never got done. And it's good, you know, like road improvements and, you know, all these things that we've been wanting to do that for some reason the can got kicked. But we're doing a lot of projects. And also I'm super grateful for Cindy Neely and the amount of time that she dedicates to our town. And all of you all do the same thing. I want to be offensive. I'm ready to start getting into the mind of being ahead of the curve and not just taking care of past projects, but moving forward with future projects, things that we can do and be in control of. And
So
so,
you don't want to be offense, you don't want to be offensive.
no, I'm not offensive. I don't want to be offensive.
I just, you know, I have to get ready.
Get your dukes up. But one project, Scooter, well, let me back up. I prefer when our town staff take the lead on projects, you know, because they're proactive, as opposed to somebody from the town coming saying, hey, will you do this? I want our guys to be planning. I want our guys to be proactive. And I want our staff involved so that we vetted this way before we even come to you guys.
So give me an example.
So I'm about to give you an example of a project.
I'm just a little man.
So, I say all this to say it's because, we're behind. Normally, this would be 2 months ago, we would have been in this place where we want to talk to you. But at that time, we were looking at a different project, the sidewalk project going down roads.
Yeah.
So that one is, now not primary, it's gonna be a secondary project, we'll consider it at some time. But what is more important to the staff is Sixth Street. And really wanting to take advantage of trying to improve Sixth Street. And, so Scooter and I have walked the street, Kasia and I have walked the street, Cindy Neely and I have walked the street, we're a bunch of streetwalkers.
Yeah.
And, we have realized that, so we have a map. I don't know, did you guys, they have the same map? Okay, and so what we realized after discussing, this is kind of a master plan, if you were to think of like, what do we like to accomplish? We have, the lengths of the curbs and gutters on here, we already have those, measured out. Some of our curbs and some of our gutters are needing some repairs. And when I say repair, I'm not saying we're gonna come and pour on top of that. It needs to be, you know, demolished, taken out, and then repoured so that the elevation of the water doesn't get jeopardized in that, you know? So we're not gonna do a half completed job. We're gonna do the job that's necessary. However, we realize that there's a couple things I want you to understand in our planning for our road and bridge. We're planning not to do a big project next year. not a big paving project. We would like to save that money for the next year so that we can do a substantial paving project. It's expensive, and so instead of like this last year, I could only do, or 2 years ago, I could only do the pans. And then this year we did the asphalt, and that was 2 years to get that done. We're gonna wait a year and then do a big project somewhere else. In the meantime, what are some projects we can be proactive on that are smaller? And if it's grant worthy. And so if we were to look at projects that are grant worthy, like the Main Street grant, we've gotten that grant many times because of our town, and Cindy Neely and Kasia have been very involved and Bob as well, of getting those grants because we fit the scope of those projects. This is another one that we're looking at. So if you look at this right here, we've already done all of the measurements for the curbs and the gutters that will need to be replaced. We've also started dreaming about our town in general. We're historic. We're a destination place. You know, we're a tourism community. We see lots of people. We also know that the majority of our people are retirees that live here. And yes, yeah. And we want to get ahead of the curve of being ADA compliant. And a lot of our corner areas, especially intersections, are not ADA compliant.
What is ADA, sorry?
Sure, how would you?
Oh, ADA, okay.
Yeah, and, in order for us to go out, after Cindy and I spoke at length discussing this, if we can do a project that then becomes a model for other places, if we were to do it, but it also gives us showing what we can accomplish. So if we look on 6th Street right now, we've just spent a lot of money and time and efforts into Strauss Park. Thank you, Bob. It's a beautiful gym. So what I would like to do is take this and shrink our scope down at the intersection of Rose and 6th. Just that intersection right now, and view this as phases of how we can fix our 6th Street and make it look good. But because we already have a showcase area, let's continue that and fix the intersections so that they are ADA compliant, that a person with a wheelchair can go right up on the curb right there. Because if not, it's very kind of wonky right now. We have to go all the way up and then come back down and be in the street, and it's a hazard. And I think we should be proactive of how to do this. After thinking through this, I think if our grant will probably be able just to focus on that one area. And so what I did was, I got pictures here, of course.
ADA ramps there now.
There are, but they're not in places
Not at
where,
the corner, but
right, and
they're like 15 feet off.
they're like 15 feet off, right? We all know the corners, you know, I'm saying I would love to have some kind of, what's the term? It's not a ramp, it's called Bob, what is it?
It's a ramp.
Okay.
Basically,
There's another term, there's another term where it's apron. Put the apron right here in the middle of that. So, for example, if you go to Idaho Springs, they have that on all their intersections. So,
that's the preferred design for a four-way intersection.
right, and this is their historic area as well. So here's another one showing what we're talking about, like, you know, the ramp aprons in the center of the intersection thing. And, you know, imagine this is what could be in Georgetown. You know, like it's in the walking path. Instead of having to go in 15 feet and come all the way back, or, you know, like even in Rose Street right now, where that pathway you're describing is 15 feet off, and it's kind of towards Strauss Park and towards the library. That's where the actual path is. And like today, it was jam-packed with cars.
It was cheap.
There's no way somebody could have got through there.
Although you're not getting through the corner either, but.
Correct, but if we had walk, you know, like a crosswalk, then, you know, they would defer to pedestrians to be walking there and to be more proactive. And so what I'm saying is, I'm asking you guys, we don't have to do this, but we're trying to be proactive in saying, we think that would be a great project to go after in that area and do it right. Not just hire somebody we're talking about do the engineering right so that the grade stays the
So if
same.
you're doing that, you'd have to replace the ditch across the road or the culvert too, because that would be out of slope
Yes.
as well.
That's correct.
So it's gonna have some road work, it's not just a curb ramp.
Yeah, and also that little ramp that you're talking about back there, take that out, put the sidewalk back in. So
But I
that
mean,
it's
the
flagstone.
ditch one across the road. or
Yeah,
the culvert,
right now,
because that would be, have too much cross slope on it for an ADA path.
So I don't know, and it might not matter, but Dwayne Hydrick is doing a very loose scope for us, for like one street, so we can get an idea of what the cost is gonna be. And what he suggested was 2 ramps that come up, so the corner is still intact, which might offset it a little bit from the drainage pans.
Because if you, yeah, drainage pan's what I was looking for, because if you miss that, then you can probably get the cross slope to work, but if you're going across the drainage pan, the cross slope's gonna be in excess of 1 to 48.
Yeah, yeah.
He also mentioned that the slope of our existing ADA ramps is a little too steep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, and like,
The dip at the bottom's gonna be too steep.
that's a picture of today, you know, and she was struggling just getting off the curb. And then when she got onto the other side, she was struggling getting on the curb, and she's not even in a wheelchair.
plus,
Just the
the
ramp.
way that the ramps are now, you have to exit the sidewalk onto the street, go 15, 20 feet on one side of Rose Street, cross Sixth Street, go 15 to 20 feet on the other side of Rose Street to get out to the, I mean,
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's not,
I'm just
it's
saying.
not a desired,
Paving too.
yeah.
that's why, you know.
I think it needs some engineering on this. You know, I don't think it's someone like, we're not gonna hire Banky and say, go fix this. I think it needs to be engineered right.
If you wanna do everything correctly.
Yes,
Because I know
and,
that these were put in just in 2020 and it was just the curb.
yeah, yeah.
And
Look at step one.
you include in the grant the appropriate signage.
Yes, and that was the next point I was gonna mention. Thank you. So if you look, I don't know if you can you see this stop sign right there? Brent, can you
I
see
know where the stop sign is.
Okay, so we know where that is. So we're basically saying, I think this whole thing needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
And I think that this is gonna be, this project, just addressing the ramp area, fixing that curb, making sure the engineering is correct, so when the person walks on that direction, through that pan, where the appropriate sign should go, you know, we don't want it to be in the middle, in the sidewalk, and so we think that that's probably gonna be way more expensive just for that grant alone to do that. So, we're trying to work on a scope, so then we can start checking off the boxes in order to be grant ready, so that we can start going after the grant.
Yeah.
And we know it's a rolling grant, so we have a chance that we could, if we miss it because we're not planning, we haven't got the planning done, we'll hit it in the next cycle, but we'd like to be proactive on this project.
So the other piece of this, because I know you framed this in terms of old people, like, you know. Which are us.
Speak to yourself.
But I think you also have to frame this in terms of how many, families come here to visit with little kids in strollers
Yeah.
and kids
Yeah.
stepping off of the side of the,
Yeah.
so make sure that is really focused on.
Yeah, in fact, I took a picture of a lady with a stroller too today, but I didn't include it in the pictures. So it's like, yeah, if you just stop and watch people, you know, people are just walking in the street,
Yeah.
going back and forth, it's like, we would love to be very clear of where the pathways are. You know, here's where the ramp is, we would,
Stand in the street to take photos. That's not gonna change.
no, I mean, that's.
Great.
So, before I move forward, and then I would say, maybe the next phase of this project is, you know, like, we do that intersection first. Then second is we go back and do the curbs and gutters along here and fix those. If you just walk down the street, you can tell which ones need to be fixed. They're not so bad, but they are starting to, you know, crumble and starting to look bad.
Well, at the same time, we should address as best we can any unevenness in the flagstone. I mean, there are a few spots where it's either broken up or it's, you know, it's got a significant change, so it's a stumbling hazard.
Yeah,
That's probably more priority.
Yeah, I think we should be clear on what would be concrete, whether it would be stamped concrete or would just be our, you know, brown with, finish, the aggregate finish. What we wanna have is flagstone.
So this is preliminary, and that's why I just wanted to get your thoughts. And as we're moving forward, Cindy's gonna be involved in this project. And, we have a lot of things to work out, but before I went down those roads, if I heard a hard no from you guys, then I don't wanna waste any time, you know?
So. Do you have statistics? And I don't know how you would get this, but do you have statistics on the increase in visitors to Georgetown? Yes,
I mean, we do have that place for AI.
Yeah.
Information.
Yes, we can, as far as specific, I don't know, I know it's very specific, they can tell you what their household incomes of the average person coming through,
so,
and age too, I think is what it shows.
yes, okay.
And the license plate reader.
Yeah, we have a license plate reader too.
Great.
Well, and I think the driver for this is safety.
Yeah,
That's what'll make it very saleable to CDOT. I mean, the grant.
Yeah.
This would be a revitalizing Main Street grant,
Mhm.
so safety is it's a high.
It's DOLA, isn't it? RMS, Revitalize Main Street,
So I think it's CDOT,
No.
it's CDOT.
Well, the end result is we want to be ADA compliant wherever we can be, just to set an
Yeah.
example.
yeah, and that's what's driving me, is the ADA compliance. And every town is supposed to improve, you're supposed to make improvements to do this, and we are, I mean, we have a sidewalk coming down Argentine North. And even our bridges now, we've made it so that people can walk over them as we bring sidewalks to the bridges. So we are making headway, but our downtown, I want to show that we're making headway here too.
Well, we replaced the sidewalk in front of Strauss Park
Mhm.
as part of that project because it was in such a, terrible shape.
Yeah.
So I think we should include as part of this project, whatever we can squeeze into the budget,
Mhm.
to address the sidewalks there, so that at least this intersection and the four corners are brought up to ADA compliance. The park is pretty good.
I agree. I think the scope, and I'm saying, let's focus just on the Sixth and Rose and fix all these issues that are concentrated in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your prototype.
Rick, while I got you in the hot seat,
Yeah,
I have to ask about the Alpine hose. We really need to do something with the front of that sidewalk, and we need a wheelchair or ramp there, that leads up to the stairways going up to the school. You know what I'm speaking of?
yeah,
The front of the Alpine hose, that is a flagstone in front, and it's not even, there's no curb there. We need to have a cut for wheelchairs or ADA access to that building anyway. So if we could put that on the list.
okay.
Well, and the other question is how, if you're downtown, how do you get from Strauss Park to that place in a wheelchair? I don't think you can.
No, you're right. Have to go up the
There's
street.
there's no sidewalk past,
Right.
on the other side of the Strauss Park parking lot.
Yeah, this big fence.
And, I don't know, is there a sidewalk
No.
on Fifth Street? I don't think there is.
So,
I don't think there is either.
I don't think I have a sidewalk then.
Currently, you can't even drop somebody off in front of the building
right.
because there's no curb there. It's just.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
So
of
Fifth
people
Street
who
would
park
not.
on that street as well, right?
Well, for the apartments
Yeah,
Yeah.
and brewery.
So I mean, that's a whole other,
So you have to
you
walk.
know, can you make a pull-in with a handicap delivery point? I don't think there's enough room.
I don't think there's enough room.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
thing,
That's
the
another-
thing is,
Yeah,
that is,
There's no problem to add to the list.
yeah. We only have a few left, so.
well, the thing is, that's a town building. And so we got to make it accessible.
So this, what you propose is actually the prototype for other parts of town.
Correct. If we want to continue, you know, Taos in sixth or Argentine in sixth, we have a model. And we may say that takes care of the bulk of our needs because, you know, like, that's where the bulk of people are walking in the different directions for restaurants and so forth. It's also where the area we're looking at CODA, our common outdoor drinking area. And we want to make sure that that is compliant and safe to walk through.
You should also consider putting this in your grant spots. That, it's the official way to Guanella Pass.
Yeah,
I mean, like you may hope that people are not taking Rose Street,
right.
but everybody's taking Rose Street. There's a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of traffic.
Yeah.
going up and down.
Well, it's the truck.
It's the central point of the downtown, right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And, but then we kind of have a scope of what it was gonna cost for the next if we do the others.
Yeah,
We kind of know what we're
We
doing.
just had a cat killed last week
Mhm.
on Rose Street, so we knew that. Because they speed up and down the street like crazy.
Well, that's all I have. I wanted to get your thoughts.
Okay. I don't think we need to take any,
No,
we don't need a motion on this or anything. I think we all are in agreement that we're in favor of this and that you should keep on researching it and come back to us with a plan.
sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
How about staff report? We have anything on staff report this time?
If I could redirect us back to Kristen Gower's application, she is now on Zoom.
Okay, all right. Let's put her on.
Sorry, I logged on at what I thought was, I got my time zones wrong. Sorry, basically, that's what it was.
No problem. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I think I've been up in front of this group a couple of times. The house on 1551 Main.
Okay, and what would you like to do?
I want to build a shed in the backyard, basically, under the kind of construction permitting. So 15 by 8. It'll be the same color as the house, like black kind of charred siding, so it'll match. Kind of like a TV room. I think I've spoken to Sean a couple of times about trying to do our basement, and I've given up because the cost and the craziness of it all. So I just kind of want a little, what I'm calling a hospitality suite out there where people can, you know, watch TV or read or something like that.
Okay,
Storage.
So are people gonna be sleeping in that?
No, it's going to have a sofa, TV, that kind of thing. No plumbing, no bathroom, nothing like that.
is this actually a modular unit you set down? Prefab?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. What about the roof on it? It looks like it doesn't have any slope on it at all.
Yes, they said they look at the whole I'm on the phone. They look at the whole snow load and put the slope on.
Okay. Just looking at the pictures that you presented, to me, it looks very modern for that neighborhood.
I'm not in the historical one. I'm on the, what's it called, Meadows Residential or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I chose the one I did was it's exactly the same as my house, right? So it's black. It's literally got 4 walls and a window. Like I'm not trying to make it fancy at all. That's why there's no plumbing or anything like that. There's no deck.
Is there a picture of yours in here? But, a photograph, yeah.
I mean, that picture that I had that was an example, that's obviously a kind of larger, fancier version of it. I'm not going to have all the kind of full length windows and anything like that. We've just got the windows at the side.
Are you having a chimney? There's a chimney on it. So you having a chimney?
Oh, that's not it? I don't think she heard you.
Oh, are you having a chimney like in the picture?
I'm sorry, that was a little hard to hear. What?
Are you gonna have a chimney, Kristen? Because the picture you submitted looks like a sauna maybe.
Oh, a chimney. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing like that. No chimney, no sauna, nothing like that. That picture was to show you what the outside material would look like, that kind of blacky wood.
How about, is there any overhangs on this? It doesn't look like the
No.
roof overhangs anyplace.
No. Do you need it to overhang?
Commissioners, what do you think? Comments?
It's similar to the existing house.
Yeah. So would there be a beach or is it gonna be completely flat?
Is it gonna be completely flat, Kristen, or will there be a roof?
The roof is at the moment, let me look at this picture that I've sent again here. Flat. The roof is flat at the moment. Actually, to go back to your first question, the roof is flat. I guess if we need to make it a slope, I can ask them about that. But I had spoken to them at length about the snow load, and they said they build it with these reinforced woods. And they're obviously in Colorado. That's what they specialize in, these places in Colorado. And they said they take all the snow load into account. So at the moment, it's flat.
Yeah, it looks like it has a shed roof on it. Picture.
I heard that one's not,
That's
that's
not
not it.
That's right.
That's not it?
That KJ just told me that's not it.
Yeah, so for a little context, Kristen submitted
I was looking at
a
that
new
too.
design to me on Tuesday, which is that picture there, Bob.
Oh, okay.
It looks like
Without
a shed.
Right,
without the.
The one that
stone
looks like a
fence.
shed.
very contemporary block.
It look- Yeah, just like a cube.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
In Codex box.
Oh, it's not everything.
So what we're talking about here is trying to make this look a little less contemporary.
I'm so sorry. It's really hard to hear. Like your voice is cracking up.
Sorry. Can you hear me now? My name's Betsy.
No, so Betsy is wondering if we can make the design a little less contemporary, Kristen?
I mean, it's a prefab. It's a modular one. It's not one. I don't have an architect or anything like that. It's because it's literally 4 walls. I think that picture that I sent you is making it look a little more designery than maybe it really is. Because I just have the 4 walls.
We have never passed a shed, to my knowledge, that had a flat roof or didn't have overhangs on it. And I could be wrong, so somebody can correct me if they wish, but compared to the other sheds in town, we all had overhangs on them, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't have the book here, but don't we have a requirement that it not be modular or
Yeah, we do have
Yes.
a non-prefab requirement.
non-prefab requirement?
Yeah. For the flat roof, that's also not allowed either.
And that's,
And the windows here are gonna be out of scale, because this is a whole wall of windows in 2 places, basically. Because the end of the connex, whatever you wanna call it, is basically one glass wall and then another, what appears to be a 6x6 window.
yeah, I mean, it just doesn't fit.
Can't find the flat, but it's basically the side yard up near the road.
Yeah, it's near the road.
I'm not being sarcastic, but you might think I'm being sarcastic. When I look at this, it looks like the movie 2001, where they have the big edifice, contemporary edifice sticking up in the middle of the town, or the middle of the moon, or wherever they are. So this looks very, very contemporary. And, we're sort of not into contemporary.
Well,
It is a contemporary house, but it has a pitched roof.
Yeah,
So,
it's pitched
if it had a pitched
Yeah,
roof,
if
it would
this
help.
had a pitched roof, it would be great.
well, the
Well,
other
and the windows need addressed.
Yeah.
the shed would go essentially in the front yard.
And
That's
then-
the problem, it's in the
It's
So-
actually in
So
front of the
Bob, that
house.
one,
If you look at, if you drew a line, it's to the front of the
Yeah.
house, in front of it.
Bob, if I could, that is actually, she did move the shed, which is in that addition that I added. If you flip Do that.
It's not in the front?
It's a little.
That's still in front.
It's still in front.
This one?
Still,
Yeah, it's still in front if you versus
It's
measure
just a
from the
little
road.
further back, that's all.
You're really gonna see it off of Main Street too, as you're driving.
Yeah,
People are gonna say, what is that?
I
It's Main,
think-
Main Street past, past the triangle, right? Like, when you go left past Tom's house, it's not Main Street down the other way.
So what
So
is the
sorry,
purpose?
if some of your talking was directed at me, I didn't catch it. So if I'm not answering a question, I apologize.
Yeah. Kristen, what are you intending to use the shed for?
There's a little bit of storage in there, and then a sofa, a bit of a reading room. I'm probably going to give it and put a TV there, but I'm not sure at the moment. But really just a space to kind of be, because, and that's what I wanted our basement to be, but it was just too much work getting all that dirt out and actually finishing it off. So it's really just a kind of area to kind of sit and, we've got no space like that. Like our kitchen is also our living area, which is also our dining area. So there's no kind of space to kind of have a moment, sit out there, you know, have some storage. Like everything is in our living area. We've got no storage beyond that.
I think the biggest issue is it's right in front of it.
well, if you look at the
Yeah, it
guidelines,
doesn't fit the guidelines.
it doesn't, fit- nothing fits the guidelines,
Yeah.
other than its coordinate to size.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing everybody's comments, but
Do we have sight-
If I could I share my screen for a moment? Is that okay?
sure.
Can you see this one here? Theirs is going to be, the one I'm doing is darker so that it matches the house at the moment. But this is how simple it's going to be. It's really just wood with a window door and then a small windows on either side for ventilation, because I'm not putting in any AC or anything like that. So it really was a storage, like a shed like this that I can use. There's a back area inside where I want to put like skis and things, you know, out of season, a bit of a bookshelf, a sofa, that kind of thing. A TV, somewhere to send the kids to watch TV when we can have dinner without having to listen to Mission Impossible.
No, we understand that. The problem is that it just looks too contemporary. It looks just like a cube or a box that somebody set on your lot. And that's what we're trying to get away from. If you drive around town, you'll notice any of the sheds around town have a pitched roof, and they have overhangs on the ends or on the front that give them some kind of more dimensional look rather than just a square box.
Oh, so when you were asking about the pitched roof, you would like a pitched roof on it?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
overhang.
I think that the pitched roof might be more challenging because it's modular, but I don't see why we can't do an overhang. So I could ask about the overhang.
I would start shopping around for somebody else to do this. I mean, there's plenty of shed people around that can
I know,
go
but
to whatever.
I went to some others and they all have really bad environmental insulation. And I'm like, I spoke to these guys, and there's another group called Studio Shed, and they've been
Yep.
having to tear down the Studio Shed ones because of some of the issues. So I wanted something that was a bit more high end with good insulation and, you know, good environmental materials and that kind of thing. Like they use triple glazing on the windows, so it's fully insulated, so you don't have to use like lots of heating and cooling and all of that kind of thing. So I spoke to quite a few, and then this was the
Okay.
kind of the low environmental impact, and they could blend it in with the house and blend it in with the trees.
Well, that box isn't going to cut it for me anyway. Members, what do you think?
No, I agree. It doesn't satisfy any of the criteria that we have.
Yeah.
And when we say pitched roof, we're really talking gable roof, aren't we?
So if you if I'm still sharing my screen now,
We see it.
and yeah, okay. So if we take out the fact that doing a chimney or anything like that, and not doing these kind of fancy pale wood things. It's just going to be, I mean, I could build a little side front deck if that would make it better. But I mean, the idea was to be simple, to kind of fit in with nature. So it's supposed to look like part of nature, right?
It's too contemporary. It's fitted with the town.
Yeah.
Kristen, I think that the commission is asking you to maybe come up with a more traditional design and come back to them with a new proposal.
Yeah, to be honest, this is modular, right? That's the challenge. You know, if I start hiring architects and doing custom designs and things, it's kind of just for what I want to use it for. If I get the overhang, does that make it look? I just want to clarify, you know, I'm not in the historic district, right?
That's correct, but you still have to match.
It's a historic district.
Yeah, the entire town is a National Historic Landmark.
Right.
So we can't.
I mean, you know,
have-
there's that house right opposite me that looks like something out of a Denver suburb with the white driveway and all of that kind of thing.
No, understood.
That white driveway was never supposed to be there.
So if I talk to the guys here about putting an overhang on, like I'm trying to find a way to make it less contemporary, but still modular, if you know what I mean, just so it's affordable.
I don't know
Would
what are we gonna do about the modular part of this, folks?
Yeah, really.
Because that's in our guidelines that we're not supposed to throw modulars down.
Right.
Yeah, I think the modular business is what's driving the roof issue.
Yep.
We would definitely prefer to see a gable roof.
I think it'd be okay if some of the things were modified.
But also the windows,
Windows, roof, and the modular are the three biggest issues.
you know, the windows are a problem, and the way I'm looking at the door is like part of the rest of the wall. And you've got it sitting in a great big expanse of lawn. So.
no, it's the reason that may be my not so great drawing, Betsy, but the way that it was positioned is that when Keisha mentioned to me it needed to be 25 feet from the boundary, so I just kind of tried to put a little drawing in there. But the idea is that it would sit as far back in the peak of that triangle, at the corner bit, as possible, and then it's got a window on the front that looks out onto our house, and then there's a door and a window on the side that you can enter in. So it's going to sit as far back in that triangle as possible, and that's why we designed the 15 by 8 so that it kind of blended into the end of the property, right? So it's not kind of sitting slam dunk in the middle of the lawn, because we wanted to keep that lawn open.
25 feet from the street, it could be closer to the other property lines.
Put back toward the tree.
Yeah,
Yeah, into the trees.
Yeah, it needs to be.
It should definitely be behind
I don't remember if it's 5 or
the
10.
front facade.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's 5 or 10 from the sidelines, but 25 from the street.
I mean, I'm looking at the description of the materials, the framing is engineered wood, which is LVLs or LSLs. So that should be fine. Insulation is mineral wool, which, I mean, that's not a big deal. We don't care about that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if you're talking to me, I can't understand.
Exterior walls.
It says it's this black wood.
Ten wood or.
The cypress, yeah.
It's their black wood, basically.
I mean, this looks like an absolutely fabulous place for kids to watch TV, but the windows are very contemporary, and the whole look of this thing is very contemporary. And I mean, people are gonna drive by and go, what is that
It
thing?
says it needs to look traditional in the guidelines.
It has to be more traditional because of the guidelines.
So maybe the roof windows in the side location of the three.
Yeah, and the roof is Class A fire rated, but EPDM, with an integrated gutter system, which
That would be great to hear.
we wouldn't want really that, because that makes it look too contemporary.
You could have 6 feet of snow stacked up on the top of that roof.
That'd be impressive.
Bob, can you give us a page number and the sightings to talk about sheds so she can look at that at some point in time, so she knows what we're speaking of?
I think Sean can do that. I don't have my book here.
Page 100.
Page 100,
It's book 3, section 1, page 100 for new accessory structures.
Kay, could you make sure that she gets a copy of that page?
Yes, I will. Kristen, we can correspond after this and talk about what to do moving forward, okay?
Okay, I'm not catching much, I must admit. So it sounds like you're going to send me something about a shared something, how to make the windows more contemporary or something. Sorry, how to make the windows less
Yeah.
contemporary.
Kristen, you and I can go through the book together at a later time. I'll email you, okay?
Okay, all right.
Hey, Kristen, I have one quick question. This is Keith. I'm on Zoom with you. What's the name of the company?
Elemental.
Elemental?
Spell-
How do you, is there a special way to spell that?
ELMNTL.
I just want to do research on my side. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we appreciate your time, and after you look at the guidelines, please come back to us if you have any new ideas of how we can make it work for you, okay?
Okay, but this one I can't go ahead with.
That's correct.
So can I ask a more philosophical question? What is the why do we not want to be contemporary in a more modern sense?
Members, Betsy? Betsy can tell you.
one of the things that we, base our, commentary on is that it's very important for us to, maintain the feel of Georgetown. So if you were to put your very contemporary glass window tube smack in the middle of the lawn, then the next thing that happens is we get 6 other applications for contemporary structures all over town. As a matter of fact, we have situations in which people are building new houses and they want to build an entire wall of glass from floor to ceiling, and we're not going there. We are not going to be having that kind of architecture in Georgetown. We are a National Historic Landmark District, and we have responsibility to protect that. Were you weren't aware of any of this when you came to Georgetown?
Sure. And deliberately didn't buy in the historic district. And, we've had everything else we've done with the house come through the committee. So I understand how the committee works. To be honest, I thought this was I thought you guys were going to love it because it was so nature, right? So environmental and matched our house exactly with the color and set in the trees. So I guess I'm just slightly surprised, but I can totally change up the windows. It doesn't have to, if what you don't like is big windows, I can make the windows smaller. It's fine.
I don't think you're listening though. I don't think you're listening. You do have to look in the book, and then we have talked about a pitched roof, and the whole feel of this is dramatically contemporary. I mean, there isn't another any remotely like this anywhere in this town. So you would be the one who was setting the standard in a very visible part of the town. And it's not in our guidelines, and our guidelines have been established and approved for years. And I can't figure out how we would adjust our guidelines to support that particular type of building. I personally, as you know, a mother and a grandmother, it's a great concept. Wow, throw a building out there with a TV for the kids and it's all ready and ready to go. But it's pretty obvious. And in the picture that you've provided to us, that building looks like it's sitting right out in the middle of the grass. You say it's back in the trees, but it's not back in the trees in the way you've presented it to us.
Okay, so I'm going to look at your guidelines. A pitched roof or at least an overhang, less glass is what I'm hearing.
Well,
And
just the framing of the glass. It's not so much.
the framing.
I don't
Okay.
think it's less glass. It's just, you know, we can't have like a contemporary glass front.
Okay. Okay, so kind of having the kind of traditional wood panels like you do around the windows, we can put that in. Okay, that should be easy enough, because even if they can't do that from a modular point of view, it's very easy for me to put a window framing, right? Window framing is what you're looking for. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and the pitched roof, but the other thing is, when you come back with your modified version, would you position this into the trees?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it's got a huge impact on how we view that building.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, anybody else have comments for Kristen? If not, come visit us
Kristen?
again.
Kristen, this
Yeah.
is Keith. It does
Hi,
look
Keith.
like they do have sloped roofs on some of their designs.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? So I can go back and I can ask for the pitched roof one, and I can show the window framing and that kind of thing. So I think we can get there. I think the material, I don't hear any concerns about that. The kind of natural wood and cypress, and it matches the color of the house and things. So hopefully that's all good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would.
sorry. Just, it does look like they have slope roofs and overhangs, and we just need to kind of make sure that it just matches.
Yep, I can find some ones with slope roofs and things. Yeah.
And
Okay.
can you position it further back into the trees?
I can. The only thing I've got to be careful of is the 25 feet that it's got to be from apparently from our property line. And is that, Kezia, you're 100% sure about that, right? It's got to be 25 feet from the property line?
It's 25 feet from the front. It's only 5 feet from the rear and the sides.
But if we're talking about the side that runs down Main Street, does that counts as the front, right? So Betsy, because I've got to set it 25 feet back from that, it can't be right in the corner where I initially wanted it. But I can certainly, it's a lot further back than in that picture. So I can definitely position it back as far as it can go.
She is limited by land use code to an extent.
Yeah, okay. All right, I think it's gonna be great if you can put this together.
Yep. No problem. Okay, no
well,
problem.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
We appreciate
All
it.
right.
And come back.
I will do.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
They'll
Thank you,
probably
bye.
need 10 more applications for little houses like this.
I understand.
I'll move that we table the application until, the applicant comes back with, some modifications to the design.
Okay.
I'll second that. I second it.
Any public comment? If not, we're going to table it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, and I want to apologize because I did this back a little bit late, but she had told me that she just totally changed the design, so I didn't spend a ton of time looking at her original design to give her some feedback. I didn't know what she was doing.
9-foot fence.
So,
That's right across the street.
Okay, let's do the staff report. Asia.
I'm moving this back to the middle. Okay. Oh, and Mark, I'm sorry, I didn't email this to you because I didn't realize how many of you were not gonna be here, so. Okay, so The first thing is the Georgetown Museum. So Bob is still working on the scope, but it's pretty close to being done. Right, Bob?
Yep.
Okay, I've been trying to get a hold of Vince. I have not been successful, so we can't really do anything until Vince approves of what we want to work on.
Do we wanna, you did some lead testing?
I also did some lead testing today. I ordered a lead test kit from Amazon. There's definitely regions that there's no change when I do the test swab, but there's also definitely regions where it's a little pink, which indicates that there's probably some lead there. So I think that if we get to do this project, we should proceed with the assumption that there is lead in the paint and take appropriate precautions and do appropriate mitigation.
Are there people that we're working with or in town, and Bob, you may be the person, but who understand what you have to do to let you?
Yes.
You have to be
Fix
certified.
that?
You have to be certified.
You have to be
I
certified.
mean, it's not something we can do.
It's not something we can do, no.
That's
Oh,
that
You gotta pay
was the
somebody.
whole point of bringing it up to begin with.
got it.
This issue will have to be resolved, otherwise this is a non-starter.
Yeah, that's basically gonna shut it down.
So does he have to pay for this lead paint expert to come in?
It's not an expert, if there's lead paint there, it has to be abated,
Yeah.
and it has to be done by, by somebody who's licensed to do that.
It could be encapsulated also.
But what we're talking about doing is not encapsulation, we're talking about removing it from the building. You know, taking trim off and stuff like that, so it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna come off.
If it wasn't peeling, we could paint over
Okay, I
So-
definitely misunderstood Ken's interpretation of that, so,
This is something that, you know,
They do.
it's up to the town,
okay.
since it would be a town-sponsored project too.
Yeah, so I just did that today, so I'll talk to Rick about what we wanna do moving forward on that. Again, I also can't get a hold of Vince, so this project is kind of stagnant for the moment.
Keisha, do you know, you may not know this, but do you know if the town has ever had to deal with the lead paint thing before? I mean, I'm sure there are other places in town that have lead paint, so it could be contractors you might know, or I don't know. But
I personally don't know, I would
Okay.
assume so as well, you know, we have, this building is old as heck, so,
Yeah.
But if it's just painted over, it's fine. It's where we're gonna
Sure.
that stuff.
Yeah, when you're disturbing the,
If you could just paint
It's
over,
not
it's
so
not a
much
big deal.
the paint chips, it's the dust.
hmm?
It's not so much the paint chips, it's the dust.
Yeah, it's the airborne stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what-
had taken, I had been certified at one time, but it's all expired.
oh shucks.
I took the
So
classes and.
this was something you tested on the outside?
yes.
It could potentially be lead paint on the inside too.
We don't care about.
We're not doing anything with
We
the
don't
We
inside.
don't care about the
No,
inside.
not at all.
Oh, so you can go in and like, look at something in the museum and inhale the lead.
Well, that's not part of what we're doing.
We're not doing any work on the inside, so the paint wouldn't be disturbed.
Yeah, and it's not, we're not making dust inside.
Yeah.
Too bad.
It's not lead on all, there's definitely spots that nothing came up, that doesn't mean there's not lead underneath that paint that I tested, but,
Yeah,
yeah, so, okay, so that project right now is tabled for the moment until we figure out the lead issue and also are able to get a hold of Vince and see what he wants to do moving forward. Okay, Mark, do you have any updates on Koski House?
I do not.
Okay. Cindy's not here to talk about Excel. Does anyone else know if anything's gone with Excel?
she said
There
it's
was
very quiet.
Supposed to do a walk today, I think, or is that?
Yeah, they did do a walk today. No,
Is it coming up, maybe it's
that was for, yeah, that's Excel. They did a walk today with the county. I did not get an update from Rick on that, so I can't update you on that. But they did go up there today to look at the
the
pin stop.
penstock and what was gonna happen in different places.
Rick already talked about the Revitalizing Main Street grants for 6th Street, so I don't need to go over that. I finally looked up the no match grant in the application, and you can't look at it until October 1st, so I will have that for you next meeting.
Is that Monday?
Yes,
Yeah.
so next meeting I will be able to look at that application and print it for you. The Muscovite structure, Jacob Masker came in to chat with me last Monday, and he has decided he wants to build a house there. So we do have temporary use permits that allow for smaller secondary structures while you are constructing a primary structure. He will have to meet certain deadlines, or we will revert back to making him get rid of that shed. So today was a deadline. I emailed him. We'll see if he emails me back tomorrow. So yeah, so we'll see about that, but that's where that one's at. No updates on Yana's project unless Sean has one.
I'm working on a quote for her.
I'm working on setting up, so we talked about last time, you do have the authority to review and approve tax credit applications. I don't know if any of you have actually done that before.
I'm doing mine tomorrow.
Okay, but you're an applicant for that, not a reviewer, so although I'm sure your applicant experience will be very useful.
I hope so.
But I am trying to set up a training for all of you so that you can review those and you know what the heck's going on. For me too, because I don't know what the heck's going on. I talked to Mary about sending brochures to homeowners and real estate agents. We estimate that would be about 610 brochures, about $400 for postage. We're gonna add it to the budget for next year, and so I wanted to just ask you how often you feel that the DRC brochure ought to be mailed out.
It's never been mailed out, right?
No.
Yeah.
I would think at the beginning of the year, and then anytime there's a house sold,
Right.
is the way I would.
You don't have to mail a.
Just tell the realtors to come and pick up a bunch instead of mailing them
I
out.
don't know that they would hand them out.
Well, part of what we're trying to accomplish
Plus there's
though,
realtors
is
that
for
are
everybody
out
in
of
town.
town, out of town.
That's true.
Yeah, so real estate agents are on my list of people to bother about this, so,
It's to their benefit to do that.
you think so?
That's actually to their customers' benefits.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if they want people to know about all of the lack of foundation and historic flooding that's been going on in the houses that they're trying to sell, so.
I know the county clerks are notified, well, they record it every time there's a house sold in town or in the county.
I think Mary gets some kind of notification for that too.
I think the general idea of mailing out the brochures to people in town is that you can have new people coming to buy a house and they're gonna look at the brochure, but people who live here are never gonna look at the brochure.
Well, there's probably quite a few, because if we go to the water list, so whoever is registered with the water, which is sometimes the tenant and not the owner of the home. And there's a lot of new people, I think, that kind of cycle in and out of Georgetown, so if it makes sense to you guys, what I would suggest is we mail it out once and then try to keep an eye on houses being sold and then send it out if we, you know, can
Like
come up
a
with a
welcome letter
procedure.
to town or something.
Yeah.
I would picture it.
And that would just be like little, you know, postage as over time. I'll talk to Mary about that because it would be an expense, but does that seem reasonable to you?
Makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have not talked to Pip recently, but last time I talked to him, he still was intent on doing the cladding. Do you want me to put a hard deadline on that?
Let's come what his deadline is.
He was looking for someone to do it. That was the struggle, is he couldn't find.
How much is he looking for someone to do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
When did he pull the permit?
You don't need a building permit for a fence, so it was just the DRC application.
When
which
was his application?
2 months ago,
I would guess.
It's
yeah.
early summer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's still within his 6-month window for the COA.
How about we give him 6 months from the time he pulled the DRC permit?
That makes sense?
Do they need a motion on that or anything? No.
The annual report is due November 1st. That's just a staff thing that I just wanted you to know about, so. Sean, thank you for giving me the list of items you don't have in your binder, so I can print those for you. If any of the rest of you could audit your binders and let me know what you're missing. And if you need the list of things that are supposed to be in there, I can print those for you again as well, so let me know.
When did you give us that?
Last meeting,
Oh, okay.
and I can print that list for you again if you want.
Just stick it in my box.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. I talked to Mary about adding a DRC budget line so that we can accept private contributions and grant money into a specific budget. She would like that to be underneath the demo by neglect ordinance, the same area of the budget. I gotta look at the ordinance to see, because we wanna make sure we can access that budget without going through the tax lien and all that stuff. We don't have to go to court every time we're trying to access a grant, so, but that's something we're discussing, so just so you're aware of that. And then 6th Street curb, I'm glad Rick talked about that. Sorry, I have a couple duplicates in here. DRC brochure, we talked about that. 790 Tau Street, so if you recall, Lisa Kugler came in and wanted to do hardy board, and you said no, unless she absolutely has to. And she mentioned that 790 Taos has hardy board. The last permit I could find for them where they did siding was in 1988. And they did clapboard, which is implied to be wood. So I don't know. If there's hardy board, we don't have record of a permit for it. So just so you know. That was something I was asked to look into. Mhm. And then randomly, we've been talking about downtown tables and chairs, and I just needed a walk today, so I did a little walk around and counted all of the tables and chairs that we have, the cafe tables, and that is in the back of your packet, so. But there are 21 tables and 39 chairs, 60 total items of furniture. And yeah, I just really needed a walk today, so I went and did that.
We probably bought 20 tables and 40 chairs, would be my guess.
One of our chairs converted into a table, so.
Are those all owned by the town?
Yes, we bought these apparently with a Revitalize Main Street grant. I don't know what year. Do you know?
2020 or 21.
So kind of recently, and it sounds like they're mostly intact. They just walk around the town, so they're not always in the same place. But I think Ryder's been trying to put them
Yeah,
back.
I told Ryder today, I said, I've got permission from Cindy and from Kasia to, you go ahead and steal tables and chairs and bring it back down to Star
Yeah, and
He said that the Grizzly Creek already recovered the one table and the 2 chairs that he stole from there.
you know, I think they're nice spread out. A lot, like people do sit in front of
I've
Gary's.
noticed that visitors are using Strauss Park and we had like 3 tables and 6 chairs under the booths and they're getting occupied.
Oh, that's a
So I think we need a few more.
Yeah.
I think if we had like 1 table and 2 chairs at each booth. That'd be
That's
fun.
actually good news.
Yeah.
Because people definitely either get out of the sun, they're in there, they're working on their computer, or they're having lunch with their kids and get on the chairs, move around and stuff, so.
I come out to Scotts Park and go to Laney's, get some lunch and then
Yeah.
sit at the park.
Yeah,
What do the table and chairs look like then?
They're black metal. The chairs have 3 horizontal slats on the back, and the chairs are little bistro tables. They're mesh metal, and they have 3 pronged
So it's
pedestals.
like something you get at Wayfair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure we ordered it from some bulk supplier, but
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
They're pretty, and they're easy to find, once
Yeah.
Bob pointed out what they were.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, the library has a ton of tables on the east and the west side.
told
But they
them
have
to
their own stuff there too, in addition to ours, so.
I told them to go look down the west side and, you know, take the, they hardly ever get used on the west side.
Yeah, they only have 2 of ours, 2 of our tables and 2 of our chairs on the west side. There are 6 tables and 13 chairs on the east side, so.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
we'll,
There's a lot of tables on that side, but they're not ours, so. Which means we could probably
we could take
steal
our
ours,
two-
make
yeah,
us use
take
ours.
back, and take a couple more back, and then we'd be fine in the park.
Mhm.
So,
So,
Okay,
that's it, that's all I got for
that's
you.
good. All right. Anybody have any questions for Kasia? Okay, well, thank you for all your hard work as always.
Thank you.
So what do we have left? Minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
wait, I forgot real quick. The big chunk, the micro grant, I totally forgot, which is most of that extra packet. This would be the grant we'd be applying for if the Georgetown Museum project is able to move forward. It's a rolling grant, we can apply anytime. It's up to $5,000. Cindy had asked me to print out the application. I printed out the description and like what we need on the front here. So this is the main stuff you need, but just so you have a reference there.
Okay, thank you.
so this could pay for up to $5,000 in a 50% match.
That's correct.
So if they needed to do lead abatement,
There's
this
probably
could pay for
space.
probably half of that.
You think it would cost
No, I-
$10,000 for lead
No,
abatement?
I would hope not, but the budgeting that I've done on doing the external repairs and painting the whole place comes out to be about $7,500 for materials. And then labor would be volunteer. And that assumes that there's no material already on site. I know there is some, but it just assumes that we go and buy what we need. And it's just fixing the outside. That's all it is. Not repairing windows or doors. Generally, if the door or window is bad enough, we slap a piece of plywood in, paint it white, and call it good. And then the next, you know, if they decide to do a renovation of the building, then you get into the more expensive stuff. But this gets it
Okay.
stabilized.
All right, Kasia, is that it?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. All right. How about minutes, folks?
I read. So there's 2 sets. You guys wanna do August 22nd first? Do you need to look at them? I have them covered. Yep.
Well, I didn't know this.
Does anybody see corrections?
Got a correction on the September 12th. The second sentence under Diane Men's.
Okay.
It should be compressor, not compression. Get that, Jennifer?
Not yet. One sec. Diane Men's. Okay.
Second
I see
line,
it. She's the first one. Second line, okay.
compressor,
Compression. Should be compressor.
yeah.
Okay. Is that the only change you need for September 12th?
The only one I saw.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes from September 12th as, with the one correction that's noted.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes. What about the August 22nd minutes? Any corrections?
Oh, show me a second. I didn't see them.
So your motion,
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from August 22nd.
Second,
okay, Mark, I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Passes.
thank you.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Yeah.
I want to stay.
Thanks, John.
I'm about to get blown away.
Let's talk about sheds. Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
I'll see you.